The effects of climate change are impacting upon a greater proportion of the world's population on a more frequent basis. Stern, in his seminal report, estimated that in a business-as-usual scenario, temperature increases of up to 5 degrees C would occur, resulting in mass displacement as a result of flooding, rising sea levels and drought. Whilst all countries will be affected, it is the poorer countries that will be affected earliest and most. Malawi, already one of the poorest countries in the world, is testament to Stern's forecast. Reduced river flows have impacted upon electricity production, resulting in increased deforestation as wood fuel and charcoal are used for cooking. Deforestation exacerbates adverse weather events and impacts negatively upon poverty indicators, and so the downward cycle continues. Stern recommended a number of actions: energy efficiency, technology policy and carbon pricing. It is this last policy that I wish to examine in more detail, particularly around carbon offsets and emission trading schemes, and our efficacy in the Malawi context. Carbon offsets are measured as 1 tonne of carbon dioxide equivalent that is not emitted into the atmosphere as a result of a mitigated action. There are 2 types of emission trading schemes: compliance and voluntary. Compliance trading regimes are cap-and-trade programs that allow the use of carbon credits issued through the Clean Development Mechanism. Compliance markets account for over 90% of the world's transactions and are generally used in developed countries. Voluntary schemes are used in developing countries, and the transactions and offsets are regulated by a number of different programs, including Gold Standard, Voluntary Carbon Standard and Plan Vivo. These schemes work by allowing public or private entities to acquire voluntary emission units. Forest Trends Ecosystem Marketplace tracked transactions in the voluntary schemes. In 2016, Malawi accounted for 442.7 kilotons of carbon dioxide equivalent at a value of $2 million. Malawi has an international requirement to reduce its emissions as stated in its INDC submission. It also has to ensure that its minimal resources are used as wisely as possible to mitigate against the impact of climate change. Why I wish to research carbon offsets in Malawi is that currently there is no central repository or institution within the country assessing schemes. The idiom that if you can't measure it, you can't improve it is fundamental in evaluating the successes or failures in order to ensure that lessons are learned. I intend to do this by evaluating a selection of interventions using a cross-sectional research design. This research is important as under a business-as-usual scenario, Malawi's ability to mitigate and adapt to climate change will be compromised and could lead to it becoming a fragile state, impacting negatively on the lives of its people and neighbours.